All right, Miss Christine, thank you so much. Thanks for the music. Thanks for being in the background and starting this call. My name is Stephen Taylor. I'm coming to you from a little town up in East Tennessee called Church Hill, and I want to be conscious of everyone's time today. So we're going to get right into this training, this webinar. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. So I want to welcome you to today's uh, business webinar. How to leverage the LinkedIn and three-way call training the system to be able to recruit. Now, I want to preface this training today with one disclaimer. This is not a life insurance training. If you think this is a training about selling life insurance, you're in the wrong space. This is not a life insurance training. This is a life insurance business training. And I need to say this, there's a major difference in skill set between a life insurance producer and a life insurance agency builder. And if you're taking notes, you should write that down. It's a major skill set between writing insurance and building a life insurance agency. So, just to get that out of the way right off the bat, this is how to leverage our system and go on to LinkedIn to build your insurance agency. The primary skill set to building a life insurance business is not that you can write a lot on your own pen, because that's a sales mindset, but it is learning the art of recruiting. Now, I've been in this space in the insurance field for over 50 years. Only in recent years, in the last 6 to 8 years, did I really get the art of recruiting. And it did not become crystal clear until this system was really etched into my brain and became a part of the way that I do business. So if you want to build a strong business, if you want to leverage this amazing builder's contract that we have a good producer side, but on the other side, if you want to leverage that to build a strong agency, then learn the art of recruiting. Let's talk about the power of recruiting first of all. Recruiting is a reflection of your belief. You have to believe and sell out 1000% to the opportunity that you are recruiting to in order to be effective. To the degree that you believe in the OIC opportunity will be the direct degree of your success in recruiting. I've been privileged to recruit a team so far of 11 associates from the East Coast to the West. And it's not because I'm that great at recruiting. It's not because I'm a charismatic individual that everybody's just drawn to. It's not that I have some kind of magic. It is because I believe in the opportunity that was presented to me back in June of last year. And that belief has only become more and more solidified every day that I wake up and have the privilege to be with this awesome company, this awesome team. Now, so the first question that I want to ask is if you're not recruiting, why, what are some of the reasons? These may be some of yours. They may or may not be. You may have other reasons. But whatever it is, I want to talk about it for a second. Maybe it's because you don't truly believe in the power of the opportunity. Maybe you are isolating the value of the opportunity to your own experience. Maybe you really don't believe that you can follow the proven systems that have been put in place and follow the blueprint that was put together by the co-founders, the founder and co-founders of Our Infinite Company. They put it together. They were field people. They are field people, and they built it for field people. They patented and copyrighted the name the People's Company. And so you have to believe that it is different than anything on the market. And believe me, in 50 years, over 50 years, I've seen just about every bit of hype there could absolutely be. Maybe it's just because you're still a sales agent. Maybe you're not a business owner. Maybe you don't have the mindset of a business owner. I never owned a business before. I traded my time at somebody else's business for money. And there's a major mindset change. And I'm still refining that. I'm still getting better at that. But I understand the power of this model. Maybe you don't have an understanding, or maybe you have an understanding, but you don't have a real appreciation for systems. I've seen every system. I've tried every system. And many of the systems that were put before me were mind-boggling at how difficult they were. If I, as a seasoned person, veteran of the space, couldn't figure it out, then I knew a new person couldn't. Maybe it's a lack of understanding of what the platform that has been provided to us by Our Infinite Company, and more importantly by the systems and the platform that we have as the supreme team, the fastest growing and largest team in the OIC platform. Maybe you're just unclear what's next. Maybe you really have questions like this gentleman in this picture. But for whatever your reason is, why aren't you recruiting? Let's talk about this opportunity that we have. What are you telling people about the OIC opportunity? What's the nature of your message? Ladies and gentlemen, at OIC, we give people access to the American dream. We give people an opportunity to make their dreams come true. There are so many people in this country who are dreaming of a better life, who are dreaming of a better way than having to go work 40 years, 40 hours a week, and then retire and draw Social Security that's not enough for them to live on. We have that kind of opportunity. We have an opportunity to create financial legacies, not just for ourselves, not just for my wife, and my two children, us four no more. We have an opportunity to create financial legacies for everyone in America. We have an opportunity to establish the respect of our family and friends and community. It's an opportunity to restore the lost dreams of the American people. Let's talk about the power of one for just a moment. Suni Samad, our team founder and leader, and the architect of the systems that we put into place and that we use every day. He made this statement: one agent can change your business forever. Think about this. In 2024, about 2 years ago, Mr. Samad recruited a young lady from Oakland, California, from where he grew up, by the name of Arena McCoy. She leveraged that same system that we're showing you. And she recruited a gentleman by the name of Brian Swisher. She recruited more, but she recruited a gentleman by the name of Brian Swisher from Charlotte, North Carolina. He came into this business and got involved as a former teacher, got involved in the education retirement group of our business. He worked that business faithfully for a year and became very successful. But Mr. Brian Swisher came from a company that focused on voluntary benefits with business owners, with with small business benefits. But because he leveraged our system with the teacher market and became a business director, an an equity partner, a watch owner, and established credibility with the founders of our company, he was able to have the confidence to bring the small business program to our platform. And now it is one of the niche markets that is being very, very, very successfully uh, implemented by many people. Let's move back another year in 2023. Using LinkedIn, Mr. Samad recruited a man by the name of Caesar Paz. And using three-way calling, Caesar Paz introduced Mr. Samad to a lady named Joanne Ryan. He introduced a man by the name of Bill Fegans and a lady by the name of Natalie Hunt, who introduced Hans Augustin, who is now a business director in New Jersey. He'll soon be our next equity partner. Mr. Hans Augustin is my direct business director, and I'm so very honored to have him as a business partner and a mentor, someone who has taught me many, many things. Although he's about 25 years my junior, but I've learned amazing things from him. But in 2024, we're back to 2024, using three-way calling, Mr. Samad introduced a man by the name of Mikhail Mickey. He had been involved with him, associated with him in another business, not in the insurance space. And Mr. Mickey was introduced by Mr. Samad to Gabriel Gonzalez, the founder of our education retirement program. Mr. Mickey introduced a young lady by the name of Princess Map to the business. She was from California. She is a business director on our platform. But before she became a business director, she introduced a former partner of hers in another practice company, we like to say, named Kimberly Howard, who became a business director before Princess Map became one. And Kim Howard is now a successful business partner as well as Princess Map. Kim Howard is a business director. She earned is a $50,000 watch earner, and at the end of last year became the last business partner in the Supreme team. I believe I'm correct on that, to become an equity partner before the end of 2025. All of these people recruited a lot of people, but one person became their one who exploded their business. So let me ask you before we go further, who do you know that will be your one? Who do you not know that could be your one? You can find it using the training that I'm going to talk to you about today. Now, this is a two-part training. The first part's going to be recruiting with LinkedIn. It's not a LinkedIn training per se. It is a training. Now you're going to see a lot of people, how to be good with LinkedIn, how to master LinkedIn. I'll never master it, but I've mastered, and I feel confident saying that I've mastered recruiting with LinkedIn. So we're going to teach you the system that we use to recruit with LinkedIn. And then the second part is going to be the three-way calling system. Now let's look at part one. Why do we use the LinkedIn platform to recruit? First of all, because of something called a system. I've made it plural because we have many systems. So the acronym that many have used for system is saving yourself time, energy, and money. I've added stress because it relieves some of the stress of trying to build a team. Why do we recruit with a system? Because systems, if they are the right systems, they will duplicate and create massive scalability in your business. If you don't have a system, you don't have a business. You're still just a sales agent. Now, let me preface, or let me follow that up with saying, if you believe in yourself and you have the power to and the strength, and the power to build an amazing business on your own pen, we will say you go right ahead and do it. But there are very few and far people in between that have the stamina to maintain that system. So we create systems that will favor the success of the new person. A system that won't favor the newest person and create success for them is not an effective system. And if your business isn't growing from the bottom up, then your business is dying. Oh, you can reach the top of the personal side of our comp plan. You can become a business director and you can create 10 other business directors. But if you reach that level and you just say, I've reached the epitome, you've not created a business organization because you've not shown them how they can duplicate it. Because you see, look, you make up in numbers what you lack in skill if you will use systems, because it creates more outcome for less of the time that you have to invest. Now, let me say this. I spent the last 10 years of my insurance life, insurance career in the funeral space as a pre-need sales advisor selling pre-need funeral plans. So when I came onto the platform of our infinite company, I was with a captive company, one that said you can't sell for other companies while you're with us. So I came in on this platform knowing that I was not going to write business immediately. But I also knew, because I saw this platform and I was recruited on this platform, and this next slide says that, I saw how powerful it was. And so I spent the 6 months after that working to retire from that captive organization, and I recruited several agents using this system. Let's think about systems for a minute. Why do systems work? Because with a proven system, you can eventually be able to remove yourself from the day to day to day to day grind of the business, but because of the system, your business will still continue. I'll say it again. Without a system, you have no business. Now, nobody, I don't think there's one person in America or really in the world who does not recognize the golden arches, who does not, I'm sorry, uh, let me mute that. Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Not sure where that is. It could be from a recruit. I don't know. I'll find that out. But it could be someone from LinkedIn. And I'll show you why they could be calling me. But look, I don't think there's anyone. I don't think there's anyone in America or really across the world that don't recognize those golden arches. But how many people know about Hamburger University? I knew it from several years ago in another organization because they trained about systems. But in a suburb of Chicago, Illinois, there is a massive building, and people attend it every day. And why? Because franchise owners are required to complete a training program that'll last 12 to 18 months at Hamburger University. Why do they do that? I just realized the person leaving me that note, I could see it. It said uh, hi, Stephen, it's Stephen from LinkedIn. Now, I don't know if that's Stephen from LinkedIn or Stephen who saw my message on LinkedIn. But anyway, I digress. Why do they do that? Why do McDonald's franchise owners have to go and spend a year to a year and a half of their lives at the university called Hamburger University at McDonald's to learn the McDonald's system in order to be able to come back and duplicate it with their franchise? And may I say this? Most McDonald's franchise owners don't own just one McDonald's. They don't go and spend a year and a half of their lives learning the McDonald's system just to come back to their hometown and sell hamburgers for the rest of their lives. They learn it to duplicate it so they can get one franchise off the ground and open another one and another one and another one because of a duplicatable system. You can go anywhere in the world and McDonald's is going to look the same. I could go wherever that Asian country is. Now, I don't understand the Asian language, but I can read those signs because I know what those signs say. Not just because they have some English above them, but I know that the French fries are going to be over on the left. The ice cream machine is going to be over on the right, and probably is not going to be working. But I know that because of a system. So why do we leverage LinkedIn to recruit? It's something called Infinite Eight. Someone was just making they might have been it might have been the UPS driver dropping off I don't know what that was, but it was loud. I hope y'all didn't hear that. But why do we use a LinkedIn system to recruit? It's something called the Infinite Eight. 8 invitations to connect on LinkedIn each day, every day. Infinite Eight. Let's talk about it for a minute. If you've been on our platform any length of time within your first 30 days, you know you've heard of Infinite Eight. We use Infinite Eight a lot of times. If you flip that symbol over, it would be an 8. It would be a number 8. We use everything infinite because our infinite company, but this is the Infinite Eight. It's based on three laws. Let me briefly talk about those three laws. The first one is the law of large numbers. The law of large numbers is a fundamental principle in probability and in statistics. It states that as the number of trials or observations increases, the average of the results will get closer to the expected value. In other words, the number of times I try it and make a mistake or it doesn't happen, and I keep trying and I keep tweaking and I keep trying, then it's eventually going to produce the expected value. For an example, if I took a quarter and flipped it enough times calling heads, the number of times that it lands on heads will eventually get to 50%. If I have the stamina to keep flipping my arthritic thumb enough times, it'll land on heads. Then it's based on the second law, the law of averages. Now, this is not a formal mathematical law, but it actually reflects the belief. Remember that word in the beginning? It reflects your belief that eventually outcomes will even out over time. If I'm playing a card game with you or a board game with you, and the first three or four times I lose, I mean, not just lose, I lose big. You definitely don't want to get me in a card game with you because I don't understand all these games called poker and I mean all those things. I don't understand that much. I would be an easy target, so I stay away from them. But for example, if I'm playing a board game with you and I lose and I lose and I lose and I want to just quit, somebody's going to say, "No, don't, Stephen, don't quit. Don't quit. You're due for a win. You're due for a win." That's the law of averages. And then the third law is a law of compound. It's called the law of compounding, and it's the law that says compounding creates exponential growth. It describes how like if you're investing, how that earnings will generate additional earnings over time. Compound Compounding creates exponential growth because you earn returns not only on your original amount, but also on accumulated gains. Now, Albert Einstein is credited with this saying: compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it, he who doesn't pays it. But I found out something else just by looking at uh, the uh, the infinite wealth presentation that OIC has that I didn't know. There was an Italian Franciscan monk and mathematician in the 1600s, maybe. I forgot to write that down. But he is recognized as the father of accounting. He was a mathematician and an accountant, but they recognize him as the father of accounting because he discovered the rule of 72, and that's something for another training. But it's all based on compounding. And ladies and gentlemen, all three of these laws are applicable on LinkedIn. Now, let's talk about them. Let's do the math. And I say this every time. You can accuse me of a lot of things, but you can't accuse me of being a mathematician because numbers, big, large numbers blow my mind. But as long as I got one of these with a calculator on it, I can figure out something. But I'm pretty much without it. I'm pretty much like that young man there trying to figure out that equation behind it. Let's just do some simple math right now. Uh, this is you when you come in. This was me when I come in. I come in as a training associate. You start doing the LinkedIn training. 88 invitations a day, every week. If you do that 8 times 7 days, is 56 times in a week times 52 weeks in a year. Over the course of the year, you will have sent out connection requests. If you just simply do the 8 a day, you will send out over 2,900 invitations to connect requests on LinkedIn. And you think, wow, I'm pretty good at that. That's on your own effort. But let's say that you've brought on two business partners using that same method, and you teach that to them, and the three of you continue to do it. Now, that's three. I'm sorry, that's four of you. You bring on three partners. See those numbers? Those, even that small number got me confused. But let's say it's you and three business partners. Now that's four of you doing it 8 times a day. You've taught them doing it every day for a week. That's 224 connection requests sent out in a week. Up here by yourself, that's only 56. And you do that times 52 weeks in the year. Then instead of 2,912 of your own effort, there's 11,648 in the course of a year with just you and three people. But let's go further. Let's say you recruit another one. Now it's five doing the same thing. You've duplicated it. You've shown them that's a system. Now that's 40 every day. And in a week, that's 280. In a year, that's 14,560. You see how having business partners that you teach to do it grows exponentially? How about when it gets to this number? And I've intentionally not counted that. If you want to, you can. I'm not counting them because it's a large number. Because eventually you'll stop counting. Because how much is that going to do? How many invitations are going to be sent out if your team's that big and they're following this system? It's an infinite number. It's infinite, ladies and gentlemen. LinkedIn is your secret weapon. Why? Because it's free and it's duplicatable. Now, let me preface that and follow up by saying that you can get the premium account on LinkedIn. And I have that account. I've had it for a while because it just increases my ability. But we're not telling you to get that premium account. We want you to be profitable as a new agent in your first 30 days. And so we're not going to tell you pay the monthly fee to get LinkedIn. You can get on LinkedIn free, and you can operate in this system free. So please understand that. LinkedIn is just amazing what it can do. I'm going to give you the demonstration. I'm going to give you the demonstration of it here. So let me stop sharing my screen first of all and go to my LinkedIn page. Now I can't see who's on here. I see several. I know there are several people on because I'm sharing my screen. So if someone will just unmute your mic and say, yes, we can see it. I know I'm on the right track and you're seeing everything. Somebody, anybody, real quick, let me know you're seeing my screen.
We can see it.
Thank you, Shy. Thank you very much.
Seeing the
All right.
screen. All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So I'm getting better at doing this on a laptop. I always do it on my phone because it's just some key commands that I put in my text replacement. But if you use the laptop, this is what your LinkedIn feed looks like. One other time, let me ask you to do something. Just somebody let me know. Is there anyone in here that knows absolutely nothing about LinkedIn. Only if you don't know anything about LinkedIn, this is your first time hearing about LinkedIn, let me know and it'll dictate what I do from here. All right. I don't think there's anyone that doesn't know about LinkedIn. So you know about LinkedIn, and I don't know how I can move this dock. Let's see. Oh, I can move it down here. Let me get it out of the way. I don't because it's in my way. All right. Oh, I got it completely gone. I just learned something. All right. I'm sorry, my mind wanders a little bit, but look, I know that this is what it looks like. You can see the people in your network here. You can see notifications here. Um, this is where you can go to see your network. I usually go over here and click on my picture when I'm on my phone, but let me do it this way. Everybody knows how you can get to your network. All right, this is my network. You can see that I have 2,893 connections. In the beginning, when I was training this, because I was following the lead of my mentor, Mr. Suni Samad, who taught this for a long time by himself. He taught this all the time. And he taught this before he ever had a team. That's another story. But he taught it uh, religiously. But let me just make simplify it here because I think maybe some of you have been on a training before, and I don't need to get down in the weeds. But this is where you can see your network. All right. So this just happened, I think, today. So here's someone that accepted my message. But what I want to do is I'll show you that in the second part. So we'll just pause on that. But you can go to your connections, and it shows the people that I have on my connections. So, but what I want to do is show you that you can go to their connections. All right, here's Heather Pennington, here's Latoya Washington. But all right, so here's Riley Woodall, a licensed insurance professional. Here's Sharon Clark. I'm going to save that because she just connected. But let me go down here to let's just say Michael Kaiser. He's one of my connections already. So you can go now and you can see he's probably relatively new. He looks like a young fella, but he has 126 connections. So now that he's one of your connections, you can click on his connections and be able to send out invitations. All right. Here is Frederick Lloyd, helping hardworking professionals. Let me just find one here. And one of the things that I've had to learn by default is I want to, and it's like I said, it's easier to do on your phone, but I'm going to click on it here on my laptop, and I'm going to make sure he's in the USA. So it says United States. So that's good because if you just go through and your feed will eventually start showing you people and it looks like that they might be in the United States, but if they're in Canada and you click on it without seeing that, then if they're going to accept your invitation and then you send them the next message and they want to know about the opportunity, you're going to have to back up and tell them, I'm sorry, we're not available in Canada. So you just want to make sure. So Gabriel, well, you know what? I just saw something else, and you all saw it before I did. Thank you for not calling an old guy out. I see that it's United States on my phone. It doesn't necessarily say that. So I'm learning too. It's always a learning process. So you just go. You can just do this. Just hit connect. Now, when I connect, I have the premium account. So if you have the premium account, you know that it pops this up. You don't ever want to add a note. You don't want to send with it. You just want to send without a note. And you should hear that little ding. I didn't hear it, but you probably did. Here's Miami, Florida. I can connect. I'm doing it without a note because I have that. Frederick Lloyd, I can connect with him. Send without a note. That's what, three? So here's Caribou, Maine. Connect. Send without a note. That's 4. Jacksonville, Florida. Connect. That's 5. Here's Houston, Texas. Connect. There's 6. Here's Theophilus in Sarasota, Florida. Connect. That's 7. And then Tess Tanner, Miami, Florida. Connect. There's 8. See how quick that can happen? It happens even quicker on the phone. Okay. Now, so what do you do when someone up here in my uh, this person? Well, let me get back up here. Let me get back to my network because this lady, I think her name was Sharon. Uh, Let me just go back over here. See, that's why I do it on my phone. Sorry, yeah, Sharon Clark. All right. So Sharon Clark connected April the 9th. Here's Frederick Lloyd connected April the 9th. Here's a bunch of them that did. So let me just go through real quick and show you what to do. Now I have these on my laptop. I'm not gonna stop this screen to be able to do it. Let me go over here and just copy and paste from one that I know that I have. Here's Latoya, Washington. All right, the message. And I put in the top of the chat today before we started, I put my email address and my phone number. If you would like to have these in written form, you just send me an email afterwards, and I will do that. And the template just basically says hi. I leave a space and comma. So now this says I put her name in. So when I'm cutting and pasting, and you want to do the very same thing, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you take out. Why can't I not take that out? Hi, Latoya. Well, it's not taking it out. You want to take out that name. Let me do it this way. I don't know why that box came around that. It's what happens when an older guy. Well, I don't know why that's doing that. You backspace it out, copy and paste it. Okay. So, hi Latoya, great connecting with you. I have a unique non-captive opportunity in the life insurance space, and one of our niche markets is helping teachers with retirement options. No lead buying, no cold calling. We set up district approved events to simply educate teachers and public school employees on their pensions, arrange 403b virtual 403b and annuity appointments, and assist them with their retirement needs. These appointments also lead to an increased amount of sales in cash value life insurance. Let's chat. I'd love to go over the details. Best, Stephen Taylor. Now, what I'm going to do, I don't know why that box comes. I think it's because I've answered her. I'm just going to copy, all right, and then, well, see there what happens when I do that. All right, so I'm going to get out of that. Frederick Lloyd, he accepted it. So here's what you do next. Let me get rid of this over here. I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste. Now, you don't want to call him Latoya. I did that a few times and I realized it too late to go back and change it. And I don't know if they messaged me or not, but it embarrassed me to no end. So you want to make sure you put in and spell it correctly his name. Hi, Frederick. Same thing. And then just send. It's so much quicker when you do it on your phone and use the text replacement. If you don't know how to do that, I can show you on an iPhone, but I can't show you. I don't know if how the Android does. So see, this name's still in there, so I want to make it Sharon. Now I could do that a lot quicker if I had gone to my uh, laptop, just copied and paste because it has no name in it. But that shows you how quickly you can do that. And like I said, I'm available to um, I'm available to send those to you. So let me get back to the PowerPoint now. See there? Let me get back to the PowerPoint. Somebody open your mic. Let me know you're still with me. Everybody still with me? Because I can't see you.
Yep, let's see part two.
Thank you.
Steven,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Betty. And
Tyresha.
who else was yeah, Tyresha. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so now we're at the three-way call system. And I know Miss Tyresha is getting good at this. She's doing it. She's doing it and making it happen. And I'm proud of you, Miss Tyresha. But here's the three-way call system. What is a three-way call? Now I'm going to give you the definitions because Mr. Sunni Samad is an absolute wordsmith. And here's the two things about a three-way call. First of all, a three-way call is using a third party, not a third party system that you pay for, but it is a third party system that it's a third party system that allows any new person. Miss Tyresha Hawkins is on this call, and Miss Tyresha, less than 30 days, or is it still 30 days for you? You're muted. How long have you been with us? Maybe you're not able to unmute you. But I think it's less than 30 days or approaching 30 days. And she is having success by using this system because she's already brought in one business partner, and I'm confident she's
Can you
going to
hear
be
me?
bringing in. I can now. I can now.
Oh, I'm so sorry. No, I'm outside, a little bit outside the 30-day mark.
No
But
problem.
I am using this LinkedIn system, and I think this is a really great system.
Thank you. Thank you. Today, we on one of our on one of our mastermind calls, so, at one of our other systems, and it's for another training. She put in the chat, and then I spoke with her afterwards, and she said today it clicked. It's clicked today on this one other system, but the three way call and LinkedIn training clicked on her before that. And she's been successful with it. So it's allowing her as a brand new person, not new to the space, but brand new to us, to have success already. Here's the definition, and you might want to write this down. A three-way call is a formal introduction and a formal invitation to a formal presentation. A formal introduction and a formal invitation to a formal presentation. Here it is, and I'm going to show you what it is. I've got it on the screen, and you may not be able to see it very well, but this is the script, and I'm happy to send it to anyone who wants it. The Infinite LinkedIn three-way calling system, the Infinite 8 LinkedIn. All right, you've sent out your invitations. Somebody, they connected. You sent them word for word, and you might want to tweak it a little bit. I tweaked it to include the one that originally said our primary niche market is helping educators. Well, that's one of the starting points. But we have other niche markets now with Brian Swisher with the small business market, and when you come on board, we talk with you and we leverage what your interest is till you learn the basics, and then you can use it in any market. So I wanted to make it one of our niche markets because we don't want to isolate someone who would say our primary niche market's teachers and they just don't have an interest in that. I mean, they just might want to turn it off. So that's the reason that I changed it to one of our niche markets. So you sent that out to them, and all of a sudden you've got three or four people that says, I would love to know more. And you don't have to worry about, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? I'm brand new. I'll stumble all over myself. You don't have to worry. We've got the system. Here's a three-way call. Here's the way I do it. And if you're adept at adding someone, to a three-way call, you can do it. You know, the way this says to get the recruit on the phone first. This is the way I learned it, and until my iPhone updated to iOS 26, and it kept updating. I could easily add someone to the call because it was right there on the screen. But the first time I did it after my phone updated, I was like, where's my merge call screen? Where's my merge call? And I lost people in the call. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. So what I do, the first thing is when someone says they want to know more, I'm going to either call or text Mr. Hans Augustin, my business director, to make sure of when he will be available, because on my phone I can pull it up, I see his calendar, I'll find a gap in his calendar, and I'll say, hey, I see that you got a gap at such and such time tomorrow. And so before I let this person know, will you be available tomorrow at these times? You know, and he'll say yes, sir. All right. So I know he's going to be available. So then I will put in the response. Now I don't have this on the screen, but my response to them will be, and I'm sorry, I should have said this before I jumped to the three-way call. I will put this in, and it's in the scripts if you want it. I'm simply, no matter what question they ask, because I have people ask me, what company are you with? What's this? What's that? If you start answering that, then you're going to get in the weeds and the system's going to be blown. And you want to teach your people to do the very same thing that you're doing. So here's what you see, here's what you will send them back. Great or awesome, whatever's easiest for you, whichever verbiage you use. I'll leave my email and contact number here. I'd like to give you a brief overview of what we're doing and answer any questions you have. Now, what I say is, and Mr. Samad and some of the others will say, I'm available at so and so p.m. Eastern tonight, whatever. I realize that verbiage sometimes I might not be available because of appointments or three-way calls or something like that. So I simply state I'm in Tennessee on Eastern time. Now, a lot of people, all they know about Tennessee is Nashville and down. They know Nashville and it's 615 and they know that's Central. So I'm just letting them know I'm in Tennessee on Eastern time. So what's a good contact number and time to connect with you this week for a quick phone call? And I just put stephentaylor.oic@gmail.com and my number. And so if they respond and say, yes, I want to know more, and let me stop. Your first thing is to send them an invitation to connect. When they connect, you send them, hi, it's great connecting with you. I have a unique opportunity in the life insurance space. One of our niche markets is blah, blah, blah. If they respond and say, I want to know more, then that's when you leave the LinkedIn response. I apologize. I will put that, make sure I say that correctly the next time. That's when you leave them I'll leave my email and contact number. I'm in Texas. I'm in so-and-so on such and such time. So what is a good contact number and time to connect with you? All right, that's your response. First, invitation to connect. Second, the LinkedIn recruiting pitch. And then thirdly, the LinkedIn reply. So now you've received a reply. I'm interested to know more. So before you send them the LinkedIn follow up after they say I'm interested, you know, then you're sending them the response, and that's what I should have said. After they say I'm interested to know more, you send them the response. Now, before you tell them anything about your availability, you want to leverage your business director. And I've been privileged to have even business directors, Miss Princess Mapp, contact me one time on one of these trainings by text and let me know that she has someone she wants to talk to, and if she can get a time from him, can I do a three-way call with her? I was honored that a business director would leverage me to be the expert. And so you want to make sure you've got someone that you can edify on that call so that you won't be making a fool out of yourself and saying, "Well, I'm not going to be available then." So that's just a little that's just a little best practice. So I've located Mr. Hans. I know that he's going to be available. So then they tell us, they respond and say, "I will be available at 2 o'clock tomorrow or 8 o'clock this evening." The first thing I'm going to do is make sure that Hans Augustine is going to be available at 2 o'clock tomorrow or 8 o'clock tonight. And I'll look on his schedule. He'll confirm it with me. So then I will say, um, great, great. I'll give you a call then. And I get it on the calendar. I get it on Mr. Augustine's calendar or Mr. Samad's calendar or Princess Map's calendar, whoever I'm leveraging, and I let them know. Okay? And so now they're on the calendar. I put it in my Google Calendar, and when you do that, and you've got, what's your email? And I've got his email and all that, and I put it on the calendar as a phone call. Let them know it's a phone call. Don't confuse them and make them think it's a Zoom. But let them know, and I've got to hurry. I'm about to finish. That you're gonna call them at such and such time. So let's say Hans says, "Yes, I can be available at 8 o'clock tonight." So now it's 7:55. I start watching the clock, and at about 7:57, 3 or 4 minutes beforehand, I'm texting or calling Mr. Augustine to make sure that something hasn't come up to prevent that. And sometimes he might say, "Give me 1 minute. I'm finishing up something, whatever." So he texts me, lets me know that he's available. The first thing I do is I call Mr. Augustine, and I've got him on the line, but I can still use this same verbiage. Okay? So I've got him on the line. He's waiting. So I call, I'm going to say Tyresha. I'm going to call Tyresha. So here's the way it goes. "Hey, Tyresha, is now still a good time?" She says, "Yes." And I'll say, "Great, great." Real quick, I know that we've spoken or we've texted, we've talked a little bit about the opportunity. I want to introduce you to one of my business partners who I've had the privilege of working with for some time now. His name is Mr. Hans Augustine. He's in New Jersey. He's leading the national expansion of this company. He's not the only one, but you want that prospect to feel like they're talking to the expert. He's leading the national expansion of this company, and he's doing some phenomenal things on this platform. Tyresha, he's a down-to-earth guy. But most importantly, he loves helping people. And what I'd like to do really quick is get him on the line so he can share with you what he shared with me when I first took a look at this opportunity. Okay? Hold on. Now, I'm not going to put him on hold to merge the call. I've already got Hans on there, but I click my mute button just to cause a pause. And then I unclick, if that's a proper terminology. I already know I got Mr. Augustine on the line. And here's the way it goes. "Hey, Mr. Augustine, are you there?" "Yes, sir, Mr. Taylor." "Awesome, awesome. Hey, Tyresha, sorry, Tyresha. Hey, Tyresha, are you still there?" "Yes." "Awesome, awesome. Tyresha, this is Mr. Hans Augustine." Now, do you see that progression there? Do you see that verbiage? With the prospect, it's first name. With the person that's going to do the three-way call with you, it's Mr. Regardless of their title. If it's training associate, whoever it is, you're going to edify. Remember, it is an invitation, a formal invitation to a formal introduction and a formal invitation to a formal presentation. So quickly, it's 1:59 here. Hey, Mr. Gustin, this is the or you're saying, hey, Tyresha, this is Mr. Hans Augustin, the man I was telling you about. We're fortunate to get a moment of his time. Hey, Mr. Augustin, this is Tyresha from LinkedIn or from Facebook. Tyresha just happened to come from Facebook, commented on a comment that I made. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. Then I mute my button. Mr. Augustine will follow something along the lines of this. Hey, Tyresha, and he's always a gentleman with the females, and so he'll always say Miss Tyresha. But he uses the first name. I'm honored to be on the line with anybody that Mr. Taylor introduces me to. What is that? That is residual edification. I promise I didn't pay him anything to say all those nice things about me. So with that said, he's so humble, he probably didn't mention that he's helping develop and expand our company as well. And he's doing some amazing things, helping a lot of people. So I'm honored to be on the line with you. So with that said, what are you currently doing for a living, Miss Tyresha? And he waits. And Miss Tarisha happened to say, I'm in the insurance space. I'm working another a call from home in another area, but it happens to be in the such and such space, this and that. And so, Mr. Augustine, I'm Mr. Augustine now. Awesome, awesome. So, Tyresha, I know you're a pretty smart young lady and you're evidently doing well where you are. So, what got you to looking into another opportunity? And she may say this was not what she said, but a lot of the people you talk to will say, well, I got into space as a new person, and they told me to buy leads, and I was buying leads, and I was making calls, and I was spending a lot of money running up my credit cards, spending on leads, and it just wasn't working. I mean, and I can't keep spending that kind of money. He discovered their pain point. And so he's going to say, well, I can definitely understand how you feel. You know what? At one point, I felt the exact same way. And he may talk about how he spent money doing leads or whatever. But it's feel, felt, found. I understand how you feel. You know what? At one point, I felt the exact same way. But I found this company and they taught me another way to do business. So with that said, we're our infinite company. We're the people's company. We've been around for about 7 years. This script says it's almost 8 now because in August it will be. And we're one of the only IMOs. Let me stop here and say, if you're new and you don't understand what an IMO is, it's Insurance Marketing Organization or FMO, Financial Marketing Organizations. If it's someone that's never been in the space, or if you don't know what really that is, that's an insurance marketing organization. It's perfectly fine to say we're one of the only companies that's doing the things we're doing in several markets. We have our niche markets, we have natural markets, we have agency markets, but without taking a lot of time to go in all of that, because down there we've said we're fortunate to get a moment of Mr. Augustine's time, and that's key. He'll say, Tyresha, what I'd like to do is get you over to one of our Zoom presentations on such and such day and time. And we have a business overview that's going to be done by one of our business directors. I'm privileged to be able to do them. I'm not yet a business director. I will be, mark that down. It will be this year. But they'll say something like one of our leaders on one of our platform, he or she's doing an outstanding job. That way, Tyresha, you can see for yourself and make a more informed decision as to whether what we do is a good fit for you. Does that sound fair to you? Yes, it absolutely does. Awesome, awesome. Well, Miss Tyresha, I'm going to leave you with Mr. Taylor, and he's going to give you the link. I'll be there as well, so I'll look forward to seeing you on the Zoom. All right? All right, great, great. Hey, Mr. Taylor, always a pleasure. I'll talk to you soon. And then I'm left on the line. Mr. Augustine may mute himself or whatever, but most of the time cuts off. I'm on the line and I'm going to say, Tyresha, just stay with me for a minute. What I'm going to do, and you should already have the email. You shouldn't have to ask for the email address and the phone number. What I'm going to do is get that link over to you, and I'll see you on the call. Does that sound fair? I'll see you soon. Great. And you hang up. That's it. You hang up, and that's it. So now let me give you one final word. Let me put my phone down. I'm not calling now. One final word. I know the power's on. Okay. Here's some things I want to say to you very quickly while we're closing this call. If you're going to recruit, you're going to have to accept responsibility for it. You don't start recruiting and don't do these things that I'm going to show you every day, because that's not going to be duplicatable, and you're not going to show the people that you're bringing on that you're practicing what you preach. So number one, be consistent. Do it every day. If you're a part of our team and you weren't on our team pod call last night and you didn't see Miss Kimberly's training and the tracker that was created by Miss Marilyn, I mean by Miss Marlena Smith, then you need to ask them for it, ask me for it, I'll send it to you. It is amazing. I started using it today. Be consistent, do it every day. And one of those things is do your infinite eight. So be consistent. Make those connection requests every day. Respond to every person, no matter, you may have to wait to respond, but do not let the day end until you respond to every person with the first pitch. It's great connecting with you. I have a unique opportunity. You know that. Respond to every one of them. Thirdly, reply to every interested person. It may be that they're trying to cross recruit you. You know, if they're trying to cross recruit you, because I get some people that I know that what they're doing, and they'll say, is it worth a quick call? Don't answer. Just send that reply. I'll leave my email and contact number here. I'd like to give you a brief overview of what we're doing. Don't get out of that system. Don't get down in the weeds with them. Send a reply to everyone that's interested. Then schedule the three-way call with your leader. Make sure you've got that schedule, that call with your leader, and schedule it. Send them the business opportunity link after you've done the three-way call with them. Send them that link. You say, Steve, am I finished then? Nope. Nope. Number 6, follow up. You'll hear it. The fortune is always, 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 always in the follow-up. Send them a reminder text 30 minutes prior to the start of the business overview presentation. And then you get on the presentation, you see them, great, they're on there. Oh, wow, they've done it. Are you finished? No. Follow up again immediately after the Zoom. Now, when I do the presentation, when others do, they will say your next steps, follow up with the person that invited you. Don't wait for them to follow up with you. You call them immediately after that Zoom is over. Why? Because you've got the responsibility as a recruiter. I want to thank you for attending this training. Let me just stop sharing my screen for just a minute and just thank everyone who's on here. I see several people on here. I want to thank you for that. We do not have time for any questions. I don't want to open it up for any kind of questions. If you have questions, you respond to the person who brought you into this space. They'll answer everything. If you can't reach them, you contact me. My phone number, my email is at the top of the chat. It's 865-549-8526. It's stephentaylor.oic@gmail.com. I'm happy to share that with you. It's great to see all of you who were on here. I will see you again next week at this same time. Have a good rest of your day.
Take care.